All right, now here's a new show. So we got a new show alert. This show is really about pretty much what shows most of the shows are about: female interaction, female friendships, and females who actually run businesses and their friendships and interactions. Interesting stuff. Lots of dynamics, lots of ups, downs, twists, and turns. Listen, let's get on into this. Ladies who list. Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the video. This is my review for Ladies Who List Atlanta. This is season 1, episode 1. Baby, listen, it's going down in Atlanta. The ladies in Atlanta are really making moves. I ran across this. It's over there on the OWN channel. I said, okay, cool. I said, let's, again, we've seen it. It's the dynamic for reality show. You get you some beautiful African-American women that are doing some things, and you'll pretty much get you a hit show. And I don't think this is going to be any different. I really don't. We got some ladies, they are all into real estate. Very, very interesting. We start off with Kira and Kiana. Kiana is a broker, and Kira is basically a luxury agent. And they're friends. They actually met on Instagram. And what had happened was Kira had actually posted a picture of herself in a bikini, and she looked fabulous. Baby, sickening. Sickening. Do you understand? Not a hair out of place, built like a brick shit house. And people, being shady and hating, because that's all it was. They were hating on her. And Kiana basically came to her aid and, jumped in the comments. It's like, y'all hating, and that's kind of where they merged together. They made friends with one another, and, they were really, like, just their little segment together. You could tell. I don't think it was like a thing that they put them together for camera. No, they kind of really forged a friendship. Kira, I think, they didn't really go too far into her family background, but they really focused on Kiana's. And Kiana was actually, she grew up in the projects and things like that, and she literally has made, a real hit out of herself, and she's done really well for herself. So I definitely was sucked right in to them two. Got a good feeling from them two. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I really do. I said, yeah, they groovy. I think they're going to be fun to watch. Moving forward, we see Robin. Robin is a real estate broker. Robin seems to be, she's going to be a large part of this series. Miss Robin got a lot going on, okay? Miss Robin, she goes ahead and comes out and tells us that she was never supposed to be anything. She was slated to be nothing. Sad situation, but she didn't buy into it. She's a teenage mom who actually made it. She made it, and that's all that's to it. That she's friends with Crystal. These two, right away, you can see they're a little problematic. They're a little problematic. Both of them came across a bit pretentious, but it gets even deeper. I think they are the center. They are the nucleus of what's going to have us watching this program. But Crystal pretty much grew up. She's a hard worker, but she came from, it seems like they were pretty well off. They were pretty comfortable. They didn't lead out that she was rich, but her family life was comfortable. She didn't really need for anything, but she has like a hell of a work ethic, and she basically knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur. Kind of like patterning herself after her parents, kind of little situation. And I'm like, cool. But again, I got from her right away, I was like, she's a bit pretentious though. But I was like, okay, whatever. She's actually a closing attorney. Okay, so the two of them work together. She does a lot of closings and stuff for Robin, I guess. I don't know. Just it was interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But we end up seeing these two in the office together, and Crystal has this thing where Robin came to her, and she told her she had this idea to build one large black female brokerage firm. Okay, and the other ladies that she was interested in merging together with was Kira, Tiana, Tiffany, who we haven't actually talked about yet, and herself, and like pulling all that together, and then they all working together. Um, Crystal would be the one to do the linking up of the ladies because Robin has a history of not doing well with female interaction. Like she's a guy's girl. She don't really mess with other women. She'll mess with other women. So Crystal will be the go between. And Crystal's kind of like, okay, but she says, I don't really know Tiana. I went to school with her, but I don't really know her. And she says, she wasn't really crazy about working with Tiffany because Tiffany does the same exact thing that she does. Tiffany is a closer. So she wasn't really all that. She's like, I don't really understand why we would need Tiffany. I said, oh, okay. So right away I said, y'all talking about building a whole brokerage. What's wrong with having two closing attorneys in a full brokerage when y'all don't want to work with anybody else except for within house? So what's the problem with Tiffany? I said, okay, I got my eye on Crystal. That's all there's to it. I got my eye on Crystal. And then this little first of all, let me go back. Let me talk to you all about Tiana and Tiffany. Tiana and Tiffany are another friend group, and they were cool together. Had a lot in common. Well, listen, let me tell you this. Every last one of these women are gorgeous. Every last one of them are beautiful in their own thing. And you got we got lighter skinned women, we got brown women, and we got dark women, and every last one of them, everybody is represented. So nobody got to argue about nothing because each one is a representation of a black woman in a different skin tone, different types of hair, different styles, and they all work in the same business, and they all got it going on. They all really have it going on. So that's that. Tiana and Tiffany are friends, and they are a lot alike. They're both moms. They both are married, and their little segment, they were working through the balance of being mom and being, a real estate woman. Because it's a lot. Real estate has weird hours and you got to jump up here and jump up there. So yeah, that along with motherhood and being a wife, that's a rough pill. So their segment was really cute, and they showed some of their kids, cute kids, running around. They went to a park or whatever, real cute. You got to see them in their home type life. Well, not actually in the home, but in their mommy role. So that was really, really cool. Real good balance, though. What they were shooting here with this show, how it was shot, what they were shooting. Really interesting. Because the first thing that I said, I was like, I don't know about a show about real estate and women. Because, again, real estate is a show pony business. A lot. It's like a show pony. And that's the one little part that they show. They don't really show the crunching of the numbers in the back, the back end, the interesting stuff. The wheeling and dealing, they don't show all that. They show the show pony stuff, the beautiful homes and the agents being all fake and dressed up and, the show pony part. But there's much more to it. And I think that we're going to see more of the much more. We're going to see the relationships behind what they do. Because what I've always got, real estate is a very cliquish business as well. It's cliquish. And I definitely have always compared it to like drag. Y'all know I'm a drag queen. Drag is a very cliquish business. It is. It's very cliquish. And I've always seen real estate to be the same way. Always seen real estate to be the same way. You definitely got to be a people person. You got to be a person that your personality draws people in. You have to win people over. Even when I was actually working on getting this house, me and my agent, we became close because we did so much work for so long together. We became close and forged a friendship. And she's always trying to talk me into the business. She's like, "You're very likable, and you deal with people. You got a background and customer service and all that. You would be really good." I'm like, "Yeah, and I also know how the click stuff works too, because again, I've been doing drag for over 20 years. I know about the clickishness of that, and I would be able to stomach all of that stuff. But do I even want to be bothered with that at this age? Like when I was younger, maybe, but the older I get, that whole little click thing, and uh, I'm kind of over that. But again, it's always an option. Real estate, very interesting business. A lot of money to be made in real estate, but you got to put on. That's all. You just got to put on. You got to put on your game face. And the higher up you go, now these ladies are luxury agents, so they really are the show ponies of the business. When I tell you they be clean, now they clean and polished and got it together. They really do. You can't read them. You can't read them. I ain't got nothing bad to say. You can't read them. When it comes down to the business stuff, they were showing up and showing out. And that's what I saw in this first episode. I was like, y'all doing this, honey. Show ponies, they couldn't have picked better ones. They couldn't have picked better ones. And that's no shade. That's no shade. Anyway, let's go back over here into Robin and Crystal in this conversation up here in Crystal's office. Crystal basically kind of puts it out there and tells her, she says, you got an issue when it comes to working with women. You don't play well in the sandbox with others. And that just kind of, I got to see Miss Robin as a firecracker. She's going to be the one that keeps the hype up in the show. She was triggered right away, and you could see it, and it was a real sore spot for her. And the thing was, she took offense to it, like, okay, yeah, there's some truth to that, but I feel like you're throwing it at me. I feel like you're she was basically telling Crystal, I feel like you're victimizing me with it. And she kind of felt like she was making more of it. Like, I've told you over the years, we're friends, and I've told you that I don't really care for working with other women. But I never said I couldn't work with other women or I wouldn't work with other women, but I just don't prefer to. And now she feels like she's kind of using it to come at her. And I was like, okay. So I said, are we really going to make like a whole big thing of this? I got kind of worried. I said, do we think we really want to build a whole show off of the fact that you said you don't work well with women and now you're a little triggered because your friend is throwing the back of your face? And I get it, though I am not willing to sit through like 16, 17 weeks of a show just about that. But I'm going to tell you what it kind of made me think of. This is something that people do a lot. This is something that people do a lot, and I hate it. Have you ever told a friend that you're going to watch your weight? This is the time that I see this when this happens most. You'll say, I'm going to try this diet, or I'm going to try to get rid of some of this weight, try to watch what I'm eating, try to change some of my eating patterns or whatever. But you share that with a friend. And then after that conversation, anytime food is mentioned, or a dinner is mentioned, or a meal is mentioned, anything about food, then they throw it back in your face. And I thought you were on a diet. I thought you said you were doing this, that, and the other. And it becomes a thing of like, so being as though somebody told you they're going to be on a diet, you act like they're not supposed to eat at all anymore. And it's like you're victimizing them. And I've seen people, well, I've had it done to me. And in the past, and I've also seen people do it to other people. And I'm like, that's really kind of ugly. But it's one of those things. So that's where I kind of could see where Robin was kind of going with it. And I was like, I get it. I get how you feel, but again, we ain't building a whole show off of that. So I just kind of said, let me just keep watching to see where we go. So that's where that was that. So I kind of understand, but the way she was triggered, she was. I was like, Robin, you putting on for the camera? Because she told her she would throw the glass of wine in her face. I was like, you would throw the glass of wine in her face, and you got like loud. And she told her, don't holler at me in my office. I was like, oh, you too, you too, yeah. I could imagine. I'll probably end up. Y'all two gonna catch the brunt of my on these weeks. But anyway, moving on. Crystal and Kiana actually had met up, and she went to Kiana. And she's like, are you willing to take a dinner with Robin? And she wants to talk about this idea that she actually has. And she just basically, she told her, well, no. Kiana was actually out. And this is where we see Ashton. Ashton is a guy who Kiana does some business with, as well as far as he has properties and they kind of kick it. Again, there's the click. There's the click. You see the click. Like Tiffany and Tiana. Tiana does closings for Tiffany does closings for Tiana. She ain't really all that willing to deal with Crystal, but we'll get to that in a minute. You'll see the clickishness of it all. But anyway, so they at this place, we see Ashton. He cool. He part of the little clique, that little clique over there. Crystal asked her about the dinner, and Kiana just was like, no. And I just kind of like, oh, it was so quick and so blunt. Like, no, I ain't trying to take no dinner with her. No, I don't want to hear nothing about no business with her. And then she starts talking about this little situation that she had where she basically needed someone to close deals for her. There was like some legalese that went on. She explained it. And she needed someone. She had to reach out to someone to be able to finish that piece of the business for her until she could get everything set up. And Robin basically tried to screw her and squeeze funds from her. Told her, yeah, like, I could do it, but it'll be like $500 per contract. And she was like, what? And they both had to laugh because it was just exorbitant rates for what she asked her to do. She didn't ask her to do it at a discounted rate, but she also didn't tell her to turn her upside down and squeeze her for blood like she was a turnip either. So she was like, you know what? Crystal finally did talk her into taking the meeting, and she said, I'll go ahead and take the dinner. She said, but in her little confessional, she said, I'm just going to this dinner because when she goes to giving her business offer, I'm just going just so I could tell her no. I said, well, that's nice and petty and nasty. It's something that I would do. But I was like, okay, so that's cool. So then we see this scene with Cicely and Crystal, who are sisters. Cicely is the manager at Crystal's business. And they have a whole conversation about Robin and her blow-ups and how to deal with the friendship. And she keeps going back to, I really do love her. And we really are friends. But I don't know, she gets triggered and this, that, and the other one. And I'm like, okay, so you're really pushing this thing about Robin and how it sounds to me like, why are you even entering into this? Because you seem like working with Robin seems to be a point of contention, seems to be an issue. So why would you want to make more business with Robin? I don't know. It's weird. But her sister basically told her, you just got to learn how to deal with that. And the sister talked more sense, and they look just alike, but she talked more sense. Like, like, girl, either you friends and y'all gonna do business, or you not friends and you're not gonna do business. But this in between, and now you talking to me about it, whatever this is, y'all need to get on the same page. The sister talked with whole complete sense. After that, I said, okay, so Cicely's cool. Again, Crystal is a bit pretentious to me. That's how she comes across. Anyway, next we end up having this conversation with Kiana, Ashton, Tiana, and Tiffany. And they're all discussing this dinner invite that they all got and everything. And Kiana spills the tea about Robin. She was like, mm-mm. She spilled that tea. They was like, what? Get out of here. Then Kira comes in and she ends up saying, yeah, I was at this event. And Crystal basically, at event for Kanye West party. And not Kiana, I'm sorry, Crystal threw shade at me like she didn't know who I was. She said she knows who I am. We've actually dealt with each other before. And she acted like she didn't really know who I was. So she got her good eye on her. And then she basically said, Kira was like, I do my closings. I'm not interested in doing no closings with Crystal. She said, because I do all my closings through Tiffany. So I ain't interested in doing no closings through Crystal. I was like, oh Lord. So now you see the cliquishness and I was like, oh, how y'all all gonna come together? This is gonna be interesting. Then I just kind of laughed at that. Then after that, we had this whole meeting where Robin and Crystal, and I didn't think that the conversation they had in the office was that big of a deal. So I was shocked when I saw Crystal go to her sister Cicely to talk about it. I was like, okay, so maybe it was a bigger deal than what I thought it was. Then they had to meet up. The two of them met up in a park, and it just was a whole big blow up. And Robin was really pissed. Like, she was pissed. Like, the friendship has had some issues in the past, it seems. Because she was like, you know what you're not going to do? She said, what is this little nervous thing? Is it a nervous tick? Is it like a nervous chuckle you have? Or are you actually laughing at me? Because I'm telling you that I didn't like how you threw what I said to you back in my face. And it's like you laughing at me. And that's what I ain't getting ready to do. Because I ain't got to be down here playing this game with you. I ain't got to do no business with you. I ain't got to be your friend. I ain't got to do none of that. And she's like, and I don't got to do no friendships with no other women. I do good business with women. I ain't got to do nothing extra with them. I could care less. It's just an idea I have. So she ends up walking away, and then Crystal's still laughing, basically laughing at her. And then she said something about, her. She's like, wait, are you trying to act like I'm crazy? I was like, oh, God. It just was going in a circle. I was like, oh, y'all got some issues. Y'all got some issues, and it really doesn't even boil. It's not about business. It boils down to the friendship. And me personally, before y'all try to enter into any type of business, y'all need to get that friendship together. And ain't no way I enter into no business under them circumstances. That's crazy. And I'm going to tell you what I picked up from it, and then I'm going to get on out of here. Because I know, and it's a lot. I'm like going back and forth. I'm just trying to get to know who the people are. So, this is what I've actually put together. The focal point of the show is Robin and Crystal. Okay, for now. It's Robin and Crystal and their friendship. They have a completely dysfunctional friendship. And I'm going to tell you why. Crystal feels like she's better than Robin. Flat out. She feel like Robin ain't really on her level, and she feel like she's better than Robin. Just as a person, as a whole, is what what I got. And Robin, though you should not feel any less than Crystal, but you do. You feel a little inferior to her in your soul. Because it's not about money. It's not about money. I think as far as money and success goes, baby, they here. But it's about your raising, your upbringing, your whole everything, and what people know about you, and the whole thing as a whole. You as a woman, you feel a little inferior to her, and she knows it, and she feels a little superior to you, and she uses it when she wants to. And listen, that's what I picked up. You all tell me in the comments, did you feel the same way? Do you think I'm putting 20 on 10? Did you not get that at all? I'd love to know what you all think. That is what I actually got out of it. And the thing is, actually, I have a friendship like that. I have a friendship like that. And it's a weird, strange place. Because the thing is, the friendship built itself. And it took years before I actually felt as though, oh, this hoe really thinks she better than me. And it's like, girl, that's cute, But all in all, you actually know for a fact that you're not. But you try to use it. And it took many, many years because the friendship had built. We had like an actual friendship. But eventually it separated. And I kept saying, what is wrong with this friendship? Why is this friendship actually going this? Because at some point I actually got the feeling you really think that you're better than me. And it will tear your friendship apart. And you wonder, how do we even get to this point? How do we even get to this point? That, listen, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. I can really go into it, but I'm telling you, it took years and years and years before that actually was at the forefront. And I'm like, this is why this friendship is like this. This is why all the ups and the downs. Because and then when hindsight is 2020. You go back, this bitch always thought she was better, and it was like, child. And I think I ignored a lot of it because at the core, I knew you weren't better. I knew you wasn't better, not no kind of way at all. But I can't make you feel whatever. I ain't getting into it right now. But this is what I actually got. This is what is stirred in me. This is what made me say, yeah, I'm gonna keep watching. I want to see what this is all about. But that little dynamic between Robin and Crystal, yeah, it hit home for me. I was like, what the hell? And that's, when I get that look going, I'm going to be watching. So listen, I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Later, I think they're going to actually have the dinner in the next episode and see where everybody get together. And I think it's going to get a little sticky because there's a lot of little ins and outs and little nuances to these little, well, they ain't even friendships. These little, they're not even relationships. Interactions, that's what we'll call them. These little interactions they've had throughout the years, talking about making a business together. I don't see it happening, you all, but it's going to be fun to watch. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.